Video 2 on processing the motherhood, father, sibling. Video 2 is going to be more about shadow work, which in all of my classes, healing class, return to self, we spend time on. Shadow work is actually addressing the wound of the child from the adult perspective, but not the adult's version, but the child's perspective. So if I was working on my motherhood, use that as an example, what I need to do when I dive into shadow work is to actually go back and visit the younger version of me. This cup is going to be the younger version of me when I was 5 years old, 10 years old, 20 years old, whatever. And I felt that pain. Now, how do you know what age to visit? How do you know what to do when you're there? It's all intuitive, but it'll just keep happening, right? And you'll feel these pains. You'll be like, okay, what is this? So you have to start visiting that younger version of yourself. And just so you'll know, in this video series that I'm packing in so much work into these small little videos. So if this is going over your head a bit, or you're like, what the hell is she talking about? Come to my live Q&A, send me a note in the comment section below, and I'm happy to speak with you about it. So now when you start shadow work, you have to be willing to look at, there's a younger version of yourself, different age, 5 years old, 2 years old, 10 years old, that felt hurt by mom or dad. This is the first step to uncovering the mother or fatherhood. When you start to look at it, you may not know the age, which is fine. What you want to do is you want to take 2 colors of pens, say blue and red. And with the red color pen, you're going to ask it questions. So imagine that you brought the 5-year-old version of you into yourself. And the red color, you're going to say, hey, little Joe, what are you feeling? You put the pen down, you close your eyes, you get centered, and you breathe. Then when you're ready, you pick up the blue pen. This is the 5-year-old talking. And then you start writing. I feel sad. I feel left behind. Or whatever. Then when the stops talking, flip colors. Why do you feel sad? Get quiet, sit back. I feel sad because mom ignores me. Put the pen. Red pen. Why does mom ignore you? She's always on the phone. She's busy all the time. How does this make you feel? And you just keep going. Now, those are my questions I came up with. You're going to come up with your own questions with your red pen. It's all intuitive. Now, if you're asking me, this part of me isn't talking, you have to get to know it more. Like, just sit with it and go, okay, I feel you. Now I'm going to warn you. If you've never done shadow work before, this can be a lot, and it can be very emotional and be like, oh my God, she's crazy. I remember when I started shadow work, don't ask me how many years ago, 10, 15 years ago. It was big. I cried for days and weeks, but it wasn't forever. Okay. And once I started crying and I moved the emotion, then the emotion stopped. Okay. But it was hard. Okay. So if you're like, oh God, but once you get through it, the first few days or few weeks, then it gets easier. Okay. It does get easier. And you can't live a happy adult life without doing some of this work. Okay. So then you just talk to it. And if this little version of you doesn't talk to you, you need to meet it in meditation. If you go to that app, I'll come to me in a second. There's a meditation app, which I'm on, but I can't remember the name of it right now, that has a ton of meditations on there, like shadow work. It'll come to me later. I'll let you know what it's called in a minute. But if you go to different apps, they'll teach you. There's lots of free resources to access meditations for shadow work. And if you're willing to do it, you will have a resolve, but you have to be willing to go sit with that younger version of yourself who feels awful. The name of the app is called Insight Timer. It's completely free. Okay. Now, another question you're probably asking me is, how do I know what they're saying? Intuitively, get still and start writing. If nothing comes, we need to talk, or you need to book an appointment with my fabulous intuitive coaches, because with intuition, we can tell you what they're feeling. It's a gift of intuition, because the mind of that 5-year-old is still vibrating in energy. So the intuition, we can pick up that energy, okay, which is why I'm busy. Not the only reason I'm busy. So that's the next step with shadow work, is to get to know it. Then after you've dialogued with it, you have to sit and love it. And love it and love it and love it. Cool? All right, that's video 2. and keep repeating it. Shadow work, there's lots of great books out there on shadow work. Robert Masters, Bring the Shadow of the Dark. He has a lot of great books and video series. Shadow work is really well known nowadays. A lot of great books out there, a lot of great authors, but it takes the willingness, patience. But that's like a summarized 2-minute how to start shadow work. I'll go to the next video in a second.